What's going on, my guy? Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm your host, AD the Kingmaker. And if you're a high earning husband in a failing marriage and you're thinking about couples therapy, save it. Just stop. Okay. Couples therapy is not going to fix your problem. In fact, it's probably going to make it worse. Okay. I'm going to tell you exactly why therapy won't work, what it's actually doing to your marriage, and what you need to do instead if you want to save this thing before it's too late. Okay. You're probably an engineer, an entrepreneur, or a corporate executive. You've built a career, you provide for your family, you've even given your wife everything she could possibly want. But now she's cold, she's distant, she's threatening divorce, and you're sitting there thinking, if I can just get into therapy, we can talk this out and fix it. Wrong. Let me tell you why. The problem with couples therapy, or the first problem with couples therapy, is that talking is overrated. Couples therapy is built around one thing: talking. Okay. You sit in a room, you talk about your feelings, you talk about what's wrong, you talk about how to communicate better. But here's the truth: talking is overrated. The purpose of talking is to stop a bad behavior. If you've talked once, twice, three times, 10 times, and the behavior hasn't changed, then talking is not the solution. Your wife knows what you want. She knows what bothers you. She knows what you need from her. The problem is not that she doesn't understand. The problem is that she's not motivated to change. More talking doesn't create motivation, it creates exhaustion. You leave therapy feeling like you've made progress because you've communicated, but nothing actually changes at home. And most of the clients that I talk to say that they leave therapy feeling like they wasted their time and their money, and that they, the man, the husband, right, the father, is being painted as the bad guy because the therapist is taking their side. Okay. I know about this personally because I've spent my fair share of time and money in couples therapy, and this shit didn't do anything at all. Now, the second problem is that the therapist's real client is actually not the husband or the wife. Okay. Here's what most men don't understand about couples therapy: the therapist's real client is not you, it's not your wife, it's the relationship. The counselor has one job: to keep the relationship together, which sounds good, right? Except here's the problem. One of the biggest issues destroying your marriage right now is your unwillingness to end the relationship. You will do just about anything to hold on to this woman. You tolerate disrespect, you'll walk on eggshells, you'll compromise your standards and your boundaries, okay? All to avoid losing her. And she knows it. She can sense that you're afraid to lose her. That fear comes off as weakness, and women do not respect weakness. A therapist will never tell you to be willing to walk away. They will never tell you to set a hard boundary and stick to it. They will never tell you that sometimes the only way to save a marriage is to be willing to end it, because that goes against their entire job description. So instead, they tell you to listen more or be more understanding or validate her feelings. Okay. And these aren't inherently bad things. They just don't solve the problem that you're dealing with. Okay. All that does is make you look weaker in her eyes. Okay. Now, I can hear some people saying, but AD, aren't I supposed to fight for my marriage? No, I don't believe in fighting for marriage. I believe that that is a bad idea. I don't think that you should fight to keep anyone in your life, friends, family, especially a woman who you're married to. It is an honor to have your last name. Okay. But AD, if I'm willing to walk away, doesn't that mean I'm giving up? No, no, no. It means that you're choosing yourself. Okay. Um, I don't believe, but here's the thing: I do believe that giving up is a thing that you should do. You should give up things that don't serve you. You should give up friendships where people are not pouring into you, but they're taking away from you. Okay. So it's not a matter of giving up. It's a matter of raising your standards and saying, I don't appreciate this. I don't appreciate being talked to this way. I don't appreciate being treated this way. Right. You're giving up on the bad behavior or being treated in a way that you don't like. It's okay to give up things that don't serve you. Your willingness to walk away is not giving up. It's the opposite. It's saying, I love you, but I love myself more. I want this to work, but not at the expense of my own dignity. Okay. That's strength, and strength saves marriages. But AD, what about the kids? Won't being willing to leave hurt them? You know what hurts your kids more than divorce? watching their father get disrespected by their mother every single fucking day. You're not losing your kids. You're having a different parenting arrangement. And by staying for the kids while tolerating disrespect, you're teaching them that it's okay to be walked all over. Okay. Is that really the lesson that you want them to learn? Right. You, by staying in a disrespectful relationship where a woman who disrespects you, you're teaching your daughter, okay, I can grow up one day and marry a man who I can walk all over and not respect. And you're teaching your son, I should aspire to be married to a woman who does not respect me. Okay. But AD, won't therapy at least help us communicate better? Bro, you don't have a communication problem. You have a respect problem. She understands you perfectly. She just doesn't respect you enough to change. More communication won't fix that, but boundaries will. Okay. Another thing about communication is that people act like talking and using words is the only way to communicate. There's still nonverbal communication. If I'm correct, I think it makes up 75% of communication. If I walk around town with my head down and my shoulders slumped, I'm communicating without words. I'm communicating that I don't feel well, that I'm upset, or that something's wrong. You can understand something simply by looking at me. So you don't have a communication problem. You're communicating by staying with a disrespectful woman. You're communicating, you don't have to respect me for me to be here. This is not a communication problem. You're communicating exactly how you feel correctly, and she understands it. Okay. But AD, isn't compromise what marriage is about? No, I'm not a fan of compromise. I'm a fan of mutual selfishness. I actually got that term from Andrew Tate. Shout out to him. Compromise means neither of you get what you want. That's a lose-lose situation. What works is both of you being selfish enough to have standards and compatible enough that those standards align. Right? What's another thing that what is another example of mutual selfishness? If you say, hey, I want to live in a castle one day, off of an island in Scotland or some shit like that, right? Okay, cool, no problem. If her selfish desires are, I want to live in a castle too, or I want to, have sheep or whatever. It's like you have a vision that benefits you, okay, meaning it's selfish, and her vision fits within that vision, right? So she's here and she's supporting you in your vision, but it's also because her vision fits in that. So you're being selfish, she's being selfish, but you're working together for a common goal, okay? That is what a relationship is about. But AD, my therapist said I need to be more understanding. Are you saying they're wrong? Yes, I'm saying they're wrong. Most of my clients tell me that therapy was a waste of time, a waste of money, and that the therapist ended up taking the woman's side while he paid for it all. Your therapist has never met a marriage problem they thought needed less understanding and more boundaries. That is the problem. Now, there's nothing wrong with being understanding. However, you can understand a problem without fixing the problem. Okay. So it's more important that you fix the problem. If you stop at understanding, but there are no fixes, there are no changes, what the fuck was the purpose of your understanding? That was a waste of time. It was a mental exercise. Okay. So what actually works? If talking doesn't work and therapy keeps you stuck in a weak position, then what does work? Two things: self-respect and expectations. What works is standing up, grabbing your fucking balls, and deciding, I'd rather be alone than deal with this. This relationship is not worth my peace. Okay. And contrary to popular belief, a woman cannot be your peace. You must have peace inside, and she can add to that peace, but she cannot be your peace. If you don't have peace within, she cannot bring you peace. Okay. Your job is to create peace within your own life. Her job is to come in and add to it, or at the very least, don't fuck it up for me. Okay. Men have to muster up the courage to be willing to leave. A woman responds well to a man who is not afraid of losing her. So become a man who is not afraid of losing her. Let go of this scarcity mindset and create one of abundance. What I want you to do, my guy, I want you to grieve the loss of the relationship now. Like, go get in bed, crawl under the covers. Okay. Sit and really imagine like no longer being in a relationship with this woman. It's okay to cry. Like, that doesn't make you any less of a man. You're still a real man. I promise. As long as you have testicles, you're still a real man. Cry, grieve it. Imagine it's already happened, right? Grieve it. Now imagine how your dream woman treats you and decide that that's what you want, okay? And that you will not settle for disrespect within your relationship. Be willing to let her go and be alone. Learn to enjoy your own company without her, okay? Or be willing to start over with another woman. Both options are better than your current reality. Walking on eggshells in your own home, getting disrespected by your own wife, and paying a therapist to tell you it's all your fault. Here's what happens if you don't make this shift. You keep going to therapy, you keep talking, you keep compromising. And 6 months from now, a year from now, she's even colder, even more distant, and even less attracted to you. Because every time you beg her to stay, every time you bend over backwards to keep the peace, you lose more respect in her eyes. And eventually, she leaves anyway. Or worse, she stays, but you spend the rest of your life loveless, sexless, and where you're tolerated but not desired. And even worse than worse, she cheats with someone who's given her not even 1/100th of what you've given her. Is that really the future you want? Okay. So, if you're an entrepreneur, an executive, or an engineer, and you're tired of the threat of divorce looming over your head, and you're just tired of dealing with bad behavior from your wife, and you want to learn how to turn it all around and get her jumping out her drawers the way she did during the honeymoon phase, I've built a complete blueprint that shows you exactly how to flip the dynamic in your marriage. This is the same system I use in my own marriage, the same system that my clients use to turn their marriages around without begging, without therapy, and without losing themselves in the process. So click the link below to get access to that blueprint. There's several of them in the description of this video. If you're on Instagram or TikTok and you're seeing this, send me a DM with the word fix it, and I'll send you the link directly. Okay. Stop wasting time and money on therapy. That's not going to work. Learn how to fix this before it's too late. Okay. If you got any value out of this video at all, do me a favor, like, share, comment, subscribe. Please share this with a husband who needs to hear this, because husbands are some of the most noble men on this planet, sometimes too noble. And the Kingmaker is here to help them fix this and turn their marriages around. I've been your host, AD the Kingmaker. Till next time, peace.